Yo, this is Soul Drum 86 bringing you another video. We got some good news, and we're going to talk about that good news in this video. Excuse me. Uh, I actually did not want to do this many 2K videos this year. I really didn't. Gameplay wise, like gameplay stuff, yes, I was going to, of course, upload my matches and whatnot, but um, I said that I wasn't going to talk about 2K as much. I'm trying to also incorporate my action figure reviews on this channel as well, because I had stopped doing that as consistently. So I'm definitely trying to get back into doing that stuff more. I'm still in the process of like whenever I feel like reviewing an old wrestling show, like I'm still doing that. But I had to talk about this because this is some good news. However, in this video, I will talk about how I'm still going to be cautious about everything. But the good thing that I liked, right? I mean, I think there was a couple things teased. There was a cryptic message about universe mode. Um, but I'm not here to talk about universe mode. I'm here to talk about something that I personally was always a fan of since 2K15. That is chain wrestling. I have always been a big fan of the chain wrestling system in WWE 2K. When I tell you that when they first implemented that, I mean, like, you have no idea. Like, chain wrestling is important because not only do you have your matches flow differently for somebody like me, you can have some real old school style matches. Like they still chain wrestle today, but I'm just saying, like back in like the 90s and the 80s, chain wrestling was a big thing, especially when you had people like Mr. Perfect wrestling, when you had people like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Owen Hart. You had a ton of people back then that would always chain wrestle. Even Razor Ramon had some spots where he would be chain wrestling, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I think that it worked great. I love the system that it worked with 2K. I was one of those fans that was upset that they took it out because that was a big thing for me. Because if you're going to make the game a simulation game, why not have chain wrestling in the game? I feel like it changes the dynamic of how the gameplay works. Um, Outside of that, I do hope that they change the fighting stances. I mean, to be honest, it feels like we're getting closer and closer to them announcing at one point in time that they're getting rid of the silly fight stances and that the wrestlers will walk around the ring like they used to from 2K20 and before that, because they just looked better. I remember downloading 2K18 and playing it, and and 2K19, and it was so refreshing to have the wrestlers just walking around the ring, up straight, stoic looking, and just, you know what I mean? It just looked better. Like the silly fighting stances just look weird. The way that they kind of bounce from side to side really quick. It looks like an arcade game, but it doesn't really play like an arcade game. It's a very weird, like, mix. But chain wrestling being back into this game, in this franchise, that is a big W. In my opinion, for me, that is a huge W, and I think a lot of people will share that sentiment because that's been something that a lot of the fans have been wanting back. So, along with them adding the island and them doing and them at least doing this, and it seems like they're I don't know, they're doing a lot. It seems as though they're doing a lot again. So we shall see. Also, real quick, sidestep. I got a sidestep. I want to thank everybody, man, for showing up to my last video, the comments. Dude, much appreciated for everybody who commented, whether you agreed with me, whether you disagreed with me. I was very happy about like the type of comments that I was getting. Nothing was like crazy disrespectful or anything like that, man. If you guys disagreed, you disagreed in a respectful way, man, and I appreciate that. But I also think, for the people who disagreed with me, I don't know if you guys truly understood what I meant by talking about the island mode, and I'll reiterate it really quick before I go on because I'm still cautious about this game. But before I move forward, I feel like I have to address this. The island mode, in theory, like the idea of it, the fact that they're putting it in the game, that isn't the I'm using air quotes. That's not the crime. The crime is hearing about a new mode that obviously took I mean, it's something that they've been working on. You can't, if with the time that they get to make these games on a yearly basis, you don't have time to implement something as big as the island in one like in like an 8 to 9 month span. Like that doesn't work. This is something that they've been working on. So when they talk about that, right, when that's one of the first things that leaks, and keep in mind when things leak like that, they allowed Hip Hop Gamer to do that. He can't release that information. To my knowledge, he wouldn't be able to release that information without some sort of like, is this okay for me to do this? Because, this, I don't know. That's just how I assume business works. I don't know if he would have been able to announce that without 2K telling him. So if he makes that announcement, right, that's a huge mode. That's something that takes a lot of time and a lot of resources. Well, when you announce a brand new mode that takes a lot of time and a lot of resources and a lot of development time, it's like for a lot of fans who and make no mistake, I'm not even a big universe mode fan. What I do on this channel is I try to speak for the people who have been wanting universe mode to get better. Hell, I want universe mode to get better. I haven't enjoyed it since THQ's WWE 12. I haven't enjoyed it since, and I think I liked it even in WWE 13. But even THQ's 2K14, I didn't like universe mode. That's when I stopped liking it. Um, but I try to speak for the people who have been asking for certain things year after year after year. I've said it in a video in the past, last year actually. It doesn't matter about a lot of my videos that I make. These certain things that I talk about might not pertain to me personally, like universe mode. Universe mode, I always give a shot every year. I find the mode to be very boring. So it's like I speak for the people who do love universe mode. But there's a little bit of it in there for me too, because I would like to play it more. I would like it to be a mode that I do spend time in, especially if they're not going to have like a simple create a pay-per-view or show mode. Because I mean, you create your show and pay-per-view within universe mode. But without having a standalone, that's what you kind of have to go to if you want to create your own shows and your own pay-per-views. But I would like those modes to get better for me, but I mostly speak about it from the standpoint of like the other gamers. So when I bring up how it feels weird for them to make the island before making big universe mode changes, that was my whole point. It's like, wait, for years people have been saying like, yo, just add to universe mode. I mean, we've known this has been happening for like 10 years now. And you would think that that would be the very first thing that they fix in the game. You know what I mean? That they really take time to implement. So I don't know. Um, let's see. But yeah, man, that's really what that video was about. It was why do this instead of doing all of this other stuff first. Now, the other bit of, I guess you could say, big good news, but it's still so cryptic and we don't really know all of the details yet. There have been cryptic messages with, what was it, Brian Williams tweeting something about universe mode to Jesse from Pro Wrestling Shoots, and so it's like, it kind of got people like, oh, so they did update universe mode, and the jury is still out on that. Like, how did they update universe mode? Because remember, when they added in choosing your own cutscenes, it kind of fell flat. Just like when they added in promos. Promos are needed. Don't get me wrong. Promos are needed. However, the way promos were implemented before, it was like, ugh. But at the same time, I think a lot of people can agree they'd rather have promos in the game than not have them in. Just kind of fix it. Because I remember, you would have a promo with like Roman Reigns, but he's not moving around the ring like Roman Reigns. Or you would have Undertaker giving a promo and he would be so like, what's the word? Um, he would just be really excited in the promo, and I'm like, Undertaker don't move like that. Anytime Undertaker has had the microphone, he doesn't move like that. 2K. So they had a really big issue with trying to make the wrestler look like the wrestler while they're doing the promo. And the safe bet for me would have been just to have them stand there mostly for the most part, maybe slowly pace back and forth, or just kind of stand in the middle of the ring and hold the microphone and talk, not have them do all of these crazy movements, especially when it doesn't fit the character. So there's that. So we'll see, man. I mean, hopefully they did add in promos and backstage segments and stuff like that, because if they did those to universe mode and they at least make it to where the story that you set up can actually play out, I think that would be good. Uh, but at the end of the day, universe mode for me is just something that I don't want to choose the cutscenes. I want the game to feel. I want the cutscenes and everything to be a surprise and stuff like that. But but last but not least, the last thing that I'm going to cover on this video until I get out of here. Um, we still have to proceed with caution. At least I am. You know those movies like Happy Death Day, Groundhog's Day, when people just kind of relive the same day over and over and over and over again. And then the main character in the movie, they know what's going to happen. They can finish somebody's sentence. We see it all the time. They have done these type of movies throughout history. Um, and I feel like I'm living that movie right now. And this is why I'm still going to be cautious about everything when it pertains to WWE 2K. Because last year they got me. They didn't get me really the years before because I waited. But they got me last year to where I got it day one. But when I see a lot of the content creators do the same thing where, there's excitement. They talk about the 2K season. They make their videos, and at the start of them making their videos, for the most part, can't speak for all of them because I don't follow all of them, but for the most part, they have some cautious. They have some. I'm gonna wait to get excited, but they still make their videos. And then the more the teases come out, the more information that comes out, they start to get excited. And then you'll hear them even say in their videos, I am now officially excited for this game. And then the game will come out. The first impressions will be okay or good. And then 3 weeks later, give it about 2 to 3 weeks, the cracks start to show. So it's kind of interesting that I'm seeing everything happen in real time. I've seen the cautious videos. I've seen the I'm getting more excited videos. And then I finally seen last night from a lot of people the, oh, it's on now. Even before we get the reveal that we're supposed to get, like on Raw and all this other stuff, it's now, look, this game is getting bought day one. Day one now. They got chain wrestling back. There was cryptic messages about universe mode. We got the island and all this other stuff. I am now officially excited. But we all know how this typically turns out, right? The reason why I'm talking like this about 2K is because it's what they've given us. You kind of have to believe somebody when they tell you who they are, right? Especially when they tell you who they are over and over and over and over and over again. Once they do that, like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap when they tell you who they are. So we'll see, man. We will see. All I know is that this is going to be interesting. Yes, I'm excited about chain wrestling. There's things that have me intrigued. I personally would love a better story mode, a mode where I can pick a wrestler from the existing roster. You know what I mean? All else fails, hell, I'll just do what I do normally and I'll just implement somebody from like AEW or a different wrestling company and then use them as my like avatar. I'll probably do something like that. Another thing too that I didn't really get to talk about much in my last video, which was something that a lot of people need to really think about, is if you're adding in a mode that is supposed to be similar to NBA 2K's city mode, is that we do have to be cautious about 2K adding even more microtransactions, because I think honestly, when you look at this company and what they do, I mean, look at what they did with my faction on the NBA 2K side. When you look at just the microtransactions and everything else, like my team and all that other stuff, like there's of a lot of microtransactions. And it would be kind of naive to think, oh, they're not going to do that with this mode. Even if they don't do it as much the first year, you know that they'll do it the year after. And the year after is going to be even more and even more and even more. That's how this works, right? You know, they're going to get more aggressive with my faction. Why not? Because I mean, they know people don't like it, but every year it gets more and more and more aggressive. So if the island has microtransactions within it, trust and believe that it will be more and more and more and more and more, right? But yeah, the only game that I really am wrestling wise, the only game that I'm really truly excited about, like I'm jumping for joy over, and we haven't even gotten any new information lately, but it's been confirmed that they are working to put something out pretty soon. Judging by what one of the guys replied to me on Instagram. But that's the that's the one game that excuse me, I was yawning. That's the one game that I'm really, really excited about, because for me, Ultra Pro Wrestling has what I have been wanting in a game for a long time. The story mode that goes through decades, the stuff that you can do backstage, roam around backstage, build relationships, create enemies. It looks like you can kind of create your own storylines based off of how your character is interacting with other people. That's what I like about it. So there, and I can't wait to hear even in more detail about it. But Ultra Pro Wrestling, I'm still very excited about, man. I had to end it. I had to leave it off there because there is at least something that I'm 100% excited about, and it's going to be a brand new undertaking, a brand new game. But anyways, man, I'm done. Let me know what you feel in the comment section, man. The next video most likely will be an action figure review, and then we'll see what they talk about or what's revealed. I guess Monday Night Raw. Even though I'm not gonna watch Raw, I'll see the information on what they reveal. It'll pop up on YouTube. So, anyways, man, it's your boy Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.